Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, no.
Do you want to?
Sorry. I'll let you.
Next one.
I'm excited and I feel relaxed and I'm ready to party. Don't say sorry. You don't need to do that. You don't need to apologize. It's a fucked up female habit. You don't need to be sorry for anything ever.
Can you guess what every woman's worst nightmare is?
I don't have rage issues.
I have nothing to prove to you.
When I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
I say when it comes to stardom and Lauren, there are no accidents.
Hi, Karen Peterson.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Citizen Dame, the podcast where we are all healthy as can be. I am Lauren Humphreys Brooks, and with me, as always, is Karen Peterson. Hello, Karen.
Hello.
How are you feeling, Karen? We were meant to record this on an Independence Day weekend, and then you got sick. How are you doing now?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing much better. I actually should send you the recording I made of myself when I could not talk. It was really bad. I was supposed to do like 3 podcasts last weekend, and one of them I'd had to cancel on them a couple of times. It's for the website I write for. And so finally the second time I was canceling, I sent them a voice note so that I could be like, this is legit, you guys. I'm not just bailing on you.
You sent me a voice note too, and I was just like,
oh, did I?
Yeah, it's fine. Like, you're allowed to be sick, you know?
Yeah, it was like, I haven't sounded that bad in such a long time.
Yeah, it definitely, you weren't in the Phoebe Buffet, like
No,
you know,
it was not sexy sick.
It's
No.
just like, hey, I can't. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah, so I'm glad that you're feeling better.
Thank you. I still can't hear most of the way out of one of my ears. It's still plugged, but other than that, I'm doing so much better.
That's horrible. So did you get to have any fun on Independence Day?
I did. I went to the Angel game. I watched the Angels get creamed by the Red Sox, that part was not fun, but I kind of knew it was going to happen. But I went with my family, so it was a good time. There's actually a protest that's happening at all of the home games now, where a bunch of guys go up to this one section up in the top corner of the stadium, and they take off their shirts and they chant to Artie Moreno to sell the team. And it's growing. So it was huge. So my nephew and my brother went up there on Saturday during the game. My nephew was like so excited to participate in that. And so and it was huge. There was a line like halfway around the stadium of guys that were waiting to go up there. So to join the fray. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's like they explored selling the team a couple years ago and there were no takers. So I'm like, I don't know what you guys want him to do if nobody wants it.
Oh, that's not good news for a franchise, man.
No,
we want to sell the team and no one wants to buy it.
Yeah. The only thing I can think is that he would just set the price too high.
Mm-hmm.
But I never even heard of anybody like making an offer. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway, there's a movement to sell the team, and my brother and my nephew participated in that. And it was fun. And then the fireworks were amazing. You know, I mean, it was a sufficiently length show so that you could actually still see the fireworks at the end, unlike what happened in other parts of the country. Apparently a 40-minute long fireworks show is a bad idea. Who would have thought? Which
everybody said. And was like, this is not a good idea. It's not going to be it's not going to be nice, you know. It's not going to be like a nice show. And
there's such a thing as too many fireworks.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I saw also on Instagram there were people who were repeating the video of, I think it was San Diego several years ago.
Yes.
Where they accidentally set off all of the fireworks at once. Yes. And it looks like they had just blown up something. Like, it was wild.
Like, I remember when that happened. Yeah. Yeah. Well, in that place where that where that fireworks show happens every year. I mean, people get there in the morning and they camp out all day waiting for that. So that sucked. Uh, but still a way more fun experience than sitting through 40 minutes of fireworks, not being able to see them at the end.
Well, I mean, that was an accident. Like it wasn't like they meant to to set off all of their fireworks at once.
Right. But at least it's also a story to tell. I was there that day, you know?
just wild. Yeah, well, apparently they did set several small fires on the Brooklyn Bridge on accident, which were put out immediately. But yeah, I mean, New York City, luckily where I live, I don't actually have to go to any fireworks shows because I can see most of the fireworks from my balcony. And so I can usually see a lot of, not all of, because some of them are too low, but because they're behind the buildings, but I can see a lot of the Manhattan fireworks, and then like all of the various neighborhood fireworks that are going off, including quite literally like almost right next door to me. There's a bunch of people who like setting off fireworks in the middle of the street every year. So that's great. My dog hates it. He thought the world was ending, but it was fun to watch for a little while, and then be like, okay, you can stop now. We don't need more of this. My dog is like terrified under the couch.
Yeah. I did see some of the New York fireworks on the news, and man, that looked like a really amazing show.
Yeah, the Brooklyn Bridge fireworks, a lot of people go to like Brooklyn Bridge Park, and I think it was like a 6-hour wait or something like that. So they showed up at like in the morning. And I gotta say, that's on hellacious because it was still in the middle of this incredible heat that we had last week.
I was gonna say, wasn't it like 105?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that would be horrible, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
I can definitely see going on like an ordinary summer day, but not 105 degrees, and all of those people too, so it's even hotter. Not my thing, definitely. But so we were going to talk about probably the greatest Independence Day film of all time.
Yes,
and we are still going to talk about it because you know what, independence is to be celebrated.
That's right.
And definitely I feel like we have not felt strongly about celebrating July 4th for a while now. So I think this is a great film to talk about because it reminds you start out going like, this is so cheesy, and then by the end you're just like, yes, America, world, presidents, hurrah.
Exactly. I actually think they should have re-released it in theaters this month.
I think they should have too, because it's very like, we'll talk about it. It's jingoistic. It is cheesy. It's silly in places, but it's also like, seriously, by the end of it, you're just like, yeah, man, kill those fucking aliens.
Yeah. It's also just a well-constructed like disaster movie, alien movie, monster movie. It's just a really well-constructed fun time. That's the thing. It's
exactly. So we are talking about, of course, in case anyone was not aware of this, we were talking about Independence Day from 1996, starring pretty much everybody who was around in 1996, starring Will Smith, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, Robert Loggia, Randy Quaid, Judd Hirsch, Mary McDonnell, Vivica Fox. Like it's loaded both with really good big stars, particularly in the mid to late 90s, and then also just a bunch of really good character actors. I swear every single person in this movie, I'm just like, I recognize you, what else are you in, even when I don't know their names. So yes, this is a wonderful film, and of course, for anyone who doesn't know the plot, we won't go into it too much, but basically aliens arrive, and there's some question about whether they're friendly or not. And of course they are not. And they begin attacking the world, basically. And this is all told through various storylines that eventually converge, and including Will Smith playing Captain Stephen Hiller, who's a Marine pilot and is sent in kind of one of the first waves to defend against the aliens. Bill Pullman is the President Thomas J. Whitmore. a former fighter pilot, Jeff Goldblum as the sexiest nerd on the planet, David Levinson, an MIT satellite engineer, and you get all of these, and then Vivica Fox, who plays Steve's girlfriend, and Jasmine, Steve's girlfriend, and is like trying to protect people on the ground. It's just like you say, it's so well constructed. It's all we get introduced to all of these different characters and kind of where they're at. And then meanwhile, we've got this big threat coming in. And I think that most of the audience knows like these are not nice aliens. But there's this question about like, what are the aliens there for? What do they want? And then of course they attack. And then we care about all of these characters and we want them to survive. And it's just so well done because we get so invested in not just the future of the Earth itself, but the future of the individual characters, like who's going to survive all of this. It's just really, really well done. And something that we don't get a lot of, honestly, in a lot of disaster movies or even big action movies or superhero movies. We're often asked to, care about individual heroes, but we don't get that same sort of gradual building of other secondary characters or of multiple storylines like this.
Yeah. First of all, before we get too far into talking about the movie, I just wanted to say my experience watching it the first time, it was June of 1996 that it came out. It was right before Independence Day. And I was taking a summer school class in college with my best friend and my brother. The three of us were in this public speaking class, and it was in the evenings. It was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night till 10 o'clock. And this movie, Independence Day, came out on a Wednesday. And we had bought tickets for the latest show. So it was like 10, I don't know, 10 something. But class was supposed to go till 10. And it was like a 20-ish minute drive from class to the theater. So we convinced our professor to end class early that day so that we could make it to the movie. Because back then, there were no reserved seats. You had to get in line, and you got what you got. And so I think we got him to let us out of class at like 8 or 8:30. It was like really short. And then we booked it over to the theater and got in the line and watched it. I think we even convinced the teacher to go see the movie later too. Like, I think by the time we came back to class the next week, he had gone and seen it as well. It was pretty funny, but
well, I mean, it was a huge hit when it came out. Like it was massive. It really was. I don't want to be too nostalgic, but because there's also a lot of bad shit about movies in the 90s, but that period really was like the height of the blockbuster. And films
totally.
Like Independence Day, which were just, like you said, you have to get there early, you have to get in line to wait for seats. It's all of that, like that experience of going to the movies and seeing these films and seeing these big explosive epic movies that you almost have to see in the theater. I honestly don't know. I don't think I saw this in the theater. I would have been about 10 years old when this film came out. And I have a feeling that probably my parents saw it, but I have a feeling that my parents were probably like, this is going to freak Lauren out too much, which it definitely would have. But I saw it fairly shortly after that, though. Like, I think we rented it from Blockbuster or something like that. So this kind of occupied a similar position with like Jurassic Park, which I also didn't see in the movie theaters because my parents were like, this will scare you. And they were right. Absolutely. But yeah, like Independence Day was just such a major cultural touchstone for like everybody in the 90s. It was just everyone like went to see this movie. It was, if you and I think that there's a good reason. Like, it is, like you said, it's a very well constructed film. And it also does, I said earlier that it has this jingoism to it. It is jingoistic. It is very kind of pro-military. it's very like, it's very American. It's like it's about the world, right? But it's really about the United States.
Yeah.
And all of the characters that we follow are American, and it's like these American heroes. It's a diverse cast as well. You've got, Jeff Goldblum, who is Jewish. You have Will Smith, who's Black. You've got Vivica Fox, who's Black. You've got all of these different kind of, it's people coming together to fight for the safety of the world, right? But it's very much an American narrative. It begins with the American flag, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And the Americans like having been the first ones to walk on the moon, and
and so while I am glad that we get these other little snippets of what's going on in the rest of the world, and this implication that this is happening all over, right? It isn't just America that is being targeted, but it's still a very American film. And it doesn't conceal that either. Like, it's called Independence Day, for God's sake.
And it happens, the invasion happens on July 2nd. The big battle happens on July 4th. And
there's a whole, and we'll get to this, the President Whitmore has, I think, one of the best speeches of any president in film ever about Independence Day and how it's going to be a worldwide holiday and everything. So on the one hand, it is incredibly jingoistic, and it doesn't conceal that. On the other hand, it's so effective at it. Like, it because it does emphasize, I think, not just those like the military capabilities, but it also emphasizes this whole idea about people working together. Like, because it isn't force of arms ultimately that defeats the aliens. It's people caring about other people and taking care of other people. And everyone having a role to play in like defeating this threat. And I like that. I like that. I think it's one of those films that you have to approach knowing kind of what it's selling you on the one hand, and then also really enjoy like the action and the emotions, and like it is 100% an appeal to emotions. Like, there are points in this film where I've seen this so many times and I still get choked up. It's just like, and then like I say, you start out the film and you might be like, oh, this is so cheesy, this is so like, rah rah America, and then by the end you're just like, yes, President Bill Pullman, yes, we'll follow you in the battle.
exactly
Kill those aliens.
It's funny because you mentioned Jurassic Park, which I think is another one of the gold standard blockbusters of the 90s. And when I was rewatching in preparation for this week, when I was rewatching Independence Day, probably on Independence Day, I don't know, I was really thinking a lot about Jurassic Park, and I was comparing this movie and kind of the setup, the way that the story develops. Obviously, two very different types of stories, but they have a lot of things in common besides just Jeff Goldblum being a sexy nerd. And I think one of the big things about it is that in very short amounts of time, you learn a lot about the secondary characters and the primary characters without their stories being the point. Like, who they are informs the decisions that they make, but it also just really makes them feel like fleshed out people that we want to root for, that we care about. And so just looking at the way that this movie opens up, it opens with something happening. There's an anomaly, and everyone's trying to figure it out, primarily American scientists, but everyone's trying to figure it out. And then you see kind of the whole world reacting as these things are showing up before we really know any of the main characters. So we're just seeing just the world reacting. And then we start to very slowly get introduced to our main characters, and get little bits of who they are. Like when, we see the president, he's riding high on he's getting he's kind of getting smacked in the press because he's young and too idealistic. Which, could you imagine?
I like watching this movie. I don't want to derail what you're saying, but watching this movie, it's just like, we have a habit of creating ideal presidents, right? In films, we have so many of them. But President Whitmore, you're just like, oh yeah, the problem with the president is that he's too idealistic, that he's too like, it just makes me cry. Like,
I know.
like just the idea of the hope of having a president like that, who throughout the film is always considering the role, like he does not think about his own survival. He thinks about, I have been hired to protect the country. That's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to take care of this country. I'm not going to let people panic. Like, and he makes some mistakes, but it's always in the service of other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he cares about. And it's heartbreaking to watch as an American. Just like, why can't we have this? Anyways, sorry, go on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, exactly. But I think that that's our kind of our first entry point into this being such a rah-rah America movie that works, is because when we meet the American president, he's our ideal American president, and and then he's in a loving marriage. He has a daughter that he adores and that is super cute. And, it's like everything that we get to know about him is like, yeah, this is who we want.
Well, so it's all idealized, I mean, in a lot of ways, and that does like kind of lean into that jingoism as well. But like all of these characters, they're not perfect people. They're well fleshed out characters, but they are perfect heroes.
Yes.
Right? They're the heroes because it emphasizes those elements of self-sacrifice, of caring more about the survival of everyone than solely about your own survival or your own safety, all of those things. And that runs through the entire film. Every single one of the major characters, that is one of the things that drives them. It's about caring about your friends, the person next to you, about the people that you're supposed to be helping, the people that you're supposed to be protecting, regardless of who you are. And that it's a very like aspirational, I mean, you can call it American exceptionalism maybe, but in some ways it's the aspirations of what America is supposed to look like. It's that caring about your neighbor element. Everyone from the president down to the stripper, right? Like everybody.
Right. Yeah. Like there's a scene late in the movie where if there's one human that's kind of a villain, it's the national security guy. And he's not even really the villain of the movie. It's just that he keeps all the secrets a little too closely, and he's kind of a jerk, and he is more selfish. And
he's way too eager to use nuclear weapons. Like he's arguing for nuclear weapons almost from the word go. And it's just like, let's just blow them up. And it's like, no, let's not. Yeah, exactly.
Like, and the president even yells at him about that. Like, over American soil, we're gonna just try this and see if it works. No, we're not doing that. But even him, like toward the end of the movie, there's a circle that Judd Hirsch is, like kind of leading a prayer circle, and he lets him sit down and join, there's room for everybody.
I think Judd Hirsch has a line where he says like, oh, I'm not Jewish. He says, it's all right, you're forgiven.
He says, nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Like it's very well. And again, it's that aspirational thing. It's, people from all walks of life, from all religions, from like, and even in showing like the world, like we get some of those final shots at the end of the film is like these ships are brought down, right? We tell them that we know how to bring the bastards down, like and you get
and the British are like, oh, finally Americans.
You get like the British, you get like the ships being brought down over the pyramids, like all of these different things. So it's that emphasis on it's the world led by America. America is kind of the pinnacle of this world relationship, but it is a positive one in a lot of ways. It's like all of these people from all these different walks of life, different classes, different religions, different races, ethnicities, places, everything. We're all going to come together. We all get to sit down together, basically. And fight back against this overweening threat that wants to destroy us all.
And as you said too, it's like it's everybody from the president of the United States down to a stripper, which is Vivica Fox's character. She's an exotic dancer, and she has a little boy. And Will Smith is not his father, but they're together. they're dating, and he wants to propose. And so it's like we see this, that he's had a ring made for her, and this is something that he's really excited to do. And his best friend, played by Harry Connick Jr., he's like, you want to join the space program, you're never going to get to do that if you marry a stripper. And then they're like, all right, we're going to go kick some butt. And so they're on this mission, and she's, working, she picks up a shift, and she's got a friend who's going to go greet the aliens, because that honestly, that makes so much sense too. Having these people that are like gathered under where these ships are with signs and like, just celebrating, because they just don't have any concept of these people probably are here for bad things.
Well,
like
I love how the threat is built, because I think that the audience recognizes the threat, right? And we know that this is an action movie, right?
And we've seen the trailer.
Yeah. So the audience knows that it's a threat, but I like the way that tension is built up, because it is this like, they can't figure out, there's like a signal that keeps on being sent, but they can't, and it's interrupting satellite communications, but they can't figure out what it is or why it's there. These aliens have just sort of showed up, right? They've not announced themselves. There's not been an apparent attempt to communicate. And so it is like, what's happening? And it you get that debate also of like, should we fire first, right? Should we attack them? Well, if we attack them and they're friendly, we might be starting a war that we shouldn't start.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what capabilities they have. We don't know why they're here, and so it is, amazingly enough, it is a fairly, I think, realistic response of like, what do we do? Like, how do we respond to this? Because with these creatures that are showing up that we have very little knowledge of, and we don't know where they're gonna, what they're up to, right? And then, so you get the people who are standing on top of the buildings, like greeting them, and they get blown up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have to side note too. When we meet up with Steve and Jasmine, and like it starts off when the alien ships are coming in and there's a rumble, and so he wakes up, oh, is it an earthquake? And she's like, it's not even a 4-pointer, go back to sleep, which is such a California thing. Like, that's so true. If you can tell it's not even a 4.0, you're not getting out of bed for that. But here's one thing that I thought was really funny. So, well, there's a lot of things that are really funny. But anyway, so it's like, you assume this is the morning, they're sleeping and they get up and they're just kind of having their morning, right? But this is 7 hours before the attack starts. Like, because there's a countdown that Jeff Goldblum has identified that it's going to cycle out in about 7 hours. And in California, it's like not full dark until after 9 in July. And so the alien attack happens when it's full dark in California. So they have to be getting up at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Well, maybe they are.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense, because like all the neighborhood is up, people are packing their shit. And like, I'm like, oh, they just had a really late night. Having a very slow day.
Yeah, and it's like, well, she's also, because she's a stripper, so she definitely works late, right? Because that's generally that's when exotic dancers like tend to work. He is on leave from, like, he's supposed to be on like vacation essentially from the Marines, and he gets called back. Mm-hmm. And the kid, the kid is already like up and running around. And everything, like playing and stuff like that. So it's perfectly possible that this is like early afternoon. And they've slept really
honestly,
late.
it makes sense for it to be. It makes sense for this not to be like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. It's just one of those details that's just kind of there that I never really thought about until I was watching it this time. And I was like, wait a second.
It's also like I think they're fudging things. They're fudging timelines.
Oh, sure.
They're fudging like events and stuff like that. We could probably sit down and work out whether or not this actually all makes like linear sense. But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but it also, like I said, it's a very California thing to just blow off any earthquake that's less than a 4.0.
Well, and again,
Honestly, less than a 5.
but like this, I think it's those kinds of details that make this so enjoyable, right? Like
Mhm.
it's like the Harvey I was about to say Harvey Weinstein, Harvey Firestein character.
Firestein, yeah.
Yes, very different person.
Much better Harvey.
Yeah, superior Harvey in all ways. And but like his character, and like he's only in the film for, not that long, like just the first part of the film because he gets killed.
Yeah.
Like, like all of the humor that is in it, but we learn things about him. He's like talking about, I've got to call my mom, I've got to call my landlord, I've got like, how do I get out of the city? And so like all of those things like build up really, really well. So those little tiny details that we do get the sense that these are real people with real lives. But at the same time, we're also getting that tension from when the aliens are going to attack. We get a literal ticking clock. Like the first act has a literal countdown. It's like, oh, something's going to happen when the clock hits 0, right? All of those things really just go into how well constructed this plot is, and how invested the film makes us in these characters in a very short amount of time.
Mhm.
Because of course the big thing is we want to get to the alien attack and we want to get to the action, but we have to care about the people who are involved in it. We have to, it has to matter that someone dies. It has to matter that the Harvey Firestein character dies.
Right. And you have to feel like any character could die.
Yeah, exactly. We have to be like, oh, is the Jasmine, are her and her son safe? Of course they are. Of course they're safe. They're going to be safe.
Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to care about someone that's in the military with Steve, and that's his best friend. And so we really feel it when he dies. It's also it's Harry Connick Jr. in the 90s. Like he was really having a heyday. His acting career was really starting to take off then. And and so it's like, oh man, not him too. It's really sad. But you need that. Like Steve needs to see that and experience it. And we as the audience again need to feel like nobody's 100% safe. Like you can watch this movie and you know that Jasmine's going to be okay, Steve's going to be okay, the president's probably going to be okay, but beyond that it's like anybody else could be sacrificed, and it would make sense. So you have to have that tension of not knowing who it's going to be. So
yeah, you have those stakes, and it also establishes, like, it does give us this emotional reaction. It establishes how bad the aliens are bad, right?
Yes.
And it's not just because they destroy whole cities, it's because they killed Harry Connick Jr. Like, they killed Harvey Firestein. Yeah. How dare you do that, right?
Yeah.
They killed the president's wife. How dare you? Like it's that kind of thing so we get this emotional investment that isn't just about this large scale destruction, but we feel the individual lives of those people.
And our 3 main characters each lose somebody that's really important to them.
Yeah, we have this very strong emotional investment in it, and again, I think it's something that we are often missing from a lot of action films, including superhero films. That sense of investment in the survival or the lack of survival of ordinary people, because we do get these big, battle scenes. We get destruction. New York City has been destroyed however many times.
So many times.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the last movie where it didn't bother me, because this is like 5 years before 9/11, and it made sense in this movie. Post 9/11, I'm so tired of watching New York get destroyed.
Yeah. Well, and I have something to say about the 9/11 resonances as well in just a minute. But that's the thing. Like watching cities being destroyed on film is like, okay, we've seen this a lot. We've seen it happen in LA. We see it happen in New York, Chicago, London. Like, those big sort of iconic images, right?
Yeah.
But the way that you wind up caring about it is about the individual people. It's about like, show us the characters that, we enjoy watching. So like, again, the Harvey Firestein character, who's funny, he's entertaining. And then like, he's just one of thousands of people that got swept up into this violence, and that really impacts our emotional reaction to the aliens, to like you say, the experiences of the main characters, and like the sense of like, all right, we need to fight back, right? We want to see these bastards get beaten, and we barely have even seen the aliens at that point, right? We don't know what they look like. We don't have any sort. We're just like, no, whoever these guys are, we got to get them. Like,
yes,
exactly.
Exactly.
Look at what they did. Which is why it's so satisfying when Will Smith punches the alien in the face.
Yes.
And honestly, it is hokey. It's a hokey mo, like, you know, punch just like welcome to Earth. Like, that's hokey. But because we've had this whole buildup, we've had this major chase, this fight scene, this like alien who's killed his friend is like destroying things around him, and he's so pissed by the end. I love that. Like, he gets out of his parachute and is just screaming and is like, you know, throwing off his feet, just like, yeah, that's right. That's what you get. That's what you get. Come on. Just like, you bring your other friends down here. I'm going to beat them too.
Yeah.
But it's so satisfying in the end where like the alien comes at him and it's this horrifying thing. And he's just like punches him. He's so pissed. He just punches him and then has to, you know, and then complains about, I have to drag your ass across the desert.
Yeah, Will Smith, especially at this era, Will Smith, like, man, he was such a star and like such a movie star, and he was so funny. He was king of the one-liners, and this movie really showcases all the things that made him the big star that he was. I mean, he still has some of that, but obviously, you know, life has lifed, and things have changed for him. But yeah, like, you really, I think Independence Day is really where you see it all come together of just kind of the culmination of all the things that make him the movie star that he is at this era.
Yeah, he's, you know, the character that he's playing, he's sweet, he's funny, he's loving, like, he's dedicated to his girlfriend, he's dedicated to his, you know, his girlfriend's child, he's, you know, a good friend, like, he's all, you know, again, going back to that idea, he's the perfect hero in a lot of ways. He is just, and that's again, it's something that runs throughout the entire film, is that so many, pretty much all of the main characters are all good people. Every single one of them, they care about other people, and they're good people who want to help. And it does like make us really, really root for them. Yeah.
The other thing about Steve, in terms of how the story is developed, is in the beginning, that first conversation when he has to report back to El Toro, and which was a Marine base. It did not exist anymore. It was already shut down by 96, I think, but it had been there. Anyway, when he's having that conversation with I can't even think of his friend's name now, but and he gets the rejection letter from NASA, and it's like, so we learn right away that, like, one of the first things we learn about him is that his dream is to be an astronaut. His dream is to fly in the space shuttle, to go to space. And so when he gets the opportunity to do that, just not in the way that he expected, and to do that in service to saving the world, it's just that much more satisfying to watch him get to realize his dream, and also be a big old hero at the same time.
And it all links together so well. Like, we get that introduction, like, oh, he wants to be an astronaut. You know, he's got those pictures on his locker of like the moon landing and stuff like that. And yeah, you get all of those little things that get introduced and then get brought back again. And like, oh, so then, you know, hours later, we've got like, oh, we have this alien spaceship that we can fly. It's like, I know who can do that. And yeah, it all fits. It all makes perfect sense. And then of course you get David, played beautifully by a very beautiful Jeff Goldblum, who's the sexiest nerd in the world. But like his whole story as well, where he's this brilliant like MIT graduate, but he's been working as like a satellite technician, right?
He's a
And
cable repairman, according to his father.
but he's brilliant, and like he's the one that figures out where the signal is and where it's coming from and how it's all working. And I love the description of sciences in this, where you're just like drawing these big diagrams that are just it's like, I'm not certain if that's the way that it works, but okay. Yeah, so you get all of these things, and so again, he's being set up. His big problem is also that he's not ambitious, and that his ex-wife tells him, it's like, you can be so much more than what you are. And on the one hand, you're like, well, that's kind of unfair. Like, maybe this is just what he wants to be. But part of it is that he won't put himself out there. He won't do the things that he's really, really capable of, and then he's kind of pushed to do them because he figures all of this stuff out. He figures out how they're going to be able to defeat the aliens. And it's not through just dropping bombs on them. It's through coordination. It's through like fooling them. It's also through using the more human abilities that, we have, which is sneakiness, human sneakiness, but also care for other people. And that's part of what, allows us to be successful.
Yeah.
I did want to say something in a little bit more of a serious note about sort of the way that the aliens are represented, because we get these aliens that are coming to Earth, and initially it's like, well, what do they want? And effectively what we find out they want is to destroy humanity, and that the whole role that they are playing is that they're going from planet to planet, attacking, kind of destroying its inhabitants, and then sucking it dry of its natural resources, and then moving on.
They're like locusts.
Yeah, and of course, watching it, you also just like, if you begin to think about it for a minute, it's just like, or like colonizers, because that's effectively what colonizers on Earth do. We go to these quote untouched places, which do actually have people on them. We kill anybody who resists using superior firepower, and then you begin to mine or farm or whatever else you want, and you suck it dry of its natural resources, and then you move on to the next place. And it's an interesting kind of setup, because on the one hand, you're just like, yeah, this is villainous, right? When you really like put down what the aliens are doing, it's like, this is incredibly evil, right? How could you do this? But then it's a little bit of a sort of a white savior fantasy, I think, that or even a white victim fantasy, in that we very often make up these stories. The white mainstream will very often make up these stories about being colonized. And about like this external force, and alien movies are known for this. So Independence Day is very much working within its own genre, about this external force that is coming down and wants to destroy us and wants to enslave us in some way. And often it is being told from a very, very white perspective, to a white mainstream audience, forgetting, or maybe even not forgetting, but kind of assuaging a certain amount of our guilt in what we've done across the world, because essentially what they're describing in the aliens' colonization of Earth is exactly what white Europeans have done across the world. Every colonized nation has this narrative. Only in this case, we're the victims.
Right. Yeah. And it's interesting, because those types of stories, when we make ourselves the victims and also our own saviors, those tend to do really well. People love those stories, because it's like, we're rising up, we're fighting back. And it's interesting because, yeah, if you look at our history of what we did to the indigenous tribes, it's like, the stories where they fought back don't end well, and don't sell as well. And so it is interesting, but it's also one of those things that's like, we love to be the heroes of our own stories, and that's exactly what Independence Day is. I don't think it's I think it's interesting that this is directed by Roland Emmerich, who is a German director. He's
Mhm.
German born. And it's interesting. I mean, obviously he was hired by the studio. It was a studio project, but he also co-wrote the screenplay. And so honestly, when I look at this, through that framing, I think, yeah, this movie definitely had a life of its own and it became very, very popular and they knew what they were doing when they were making it. But I also feel like some of that, gosh, Americans just want to be the heroes of everything thought process is embedded in the script. And I think that that's like I think in some ways Emmerich is kind of reflecting that back on us, but we just, a
Mhm.
lot of people just didn't pick up on what he was showing us.
Yeah, and I think we said earlier about the diversity of the cast and the fact
Yeah.
that the main heroes are a Jewish man and a black man.
Yeah.
And that, like, that twists things just a little bit. That gives, I would not say that this is a subversive film particularly,
Mm-mm.
but I do think that there's more to it than just the more obvious militaristic propaganda.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it interesting. But that's why, I think we always have to approach these stories as like, yes, hurrah, let's defeat the aliens, but also like, this is a pretty typical fantasy, typical
Yeah,
colonial
exactly.
fantasy. And I do think, it's been talked about before. It comes from a place of guilt because there is that sense of like, we, and you could even talk about films like Avatar and stuff like that. We want to embody the colonized person who fights back. White people do.
Mhm.
We want to put ourselves in their skin because there is a guilt that we have been the colonizers. And it turns into this really both removing those narratives from their reality, right? So like removing them from America, removing them from, it's not just America, they're removing them from India, removing them from Africa and Mexico and like all of those places where so much of the world has been colonized by white Europeans who came in and destroyed everything and did it in the name of, power and greed and like and natural resources, sucking up all of the oil, the gold, whatever it was that we were after. And then also feeling guilty about it and so wanting to sort of put ourselves within that colonized body while at the same time hating the colonized body. It's a very sort of odd back and forth that we got going.
Yeah, it's true.
So that being said, it is incredibly satisfying to watch alien butts get kicked.
Oh yeah. Especially these aliens, because these aliens suck and they're mean.
They suck in every possible way. Like like it is very satisfying. Like I like the fact that we get that satisfaction of Steve and David sitting in their seats like waving to the alien, being like, "You're gonna die."
Do you think they know what's about to happen to them? Not a chance.
It is like, it's very like, tough and masculine. It's just like, yeah, that's right, you alien bastards. It's incredibly sad. One of my favorite moments actually is the Randy Quaid character, who is what's his name, Case, who is, says that he was abducted 10 years ago by aliens, and now looking at it, just like, yep, probably.
Yeah. Yep.
But as a result, he's a Vietnam War vet. He was a pilot. He has become like a drunkard. He's got these 3 kids that, he loves, but that he's just such a disappointment to them. And one of my favorite moments is when he, chooses to sacrifice himself for his children. And it's just so triumphant. Like that whole, hello boys, I'm back. Like just destroying the alien spaceship from the inside out and doing it because he wants to protect his children, for them to survive and for them to make it. It's just a really moving moment. I love it.
Yeah. It's like he's taking control. He's been out of control. The first time we see him in this movie, he's dusting the wrong fields and he's drunk and he's just constantly messing up with his kids. And yeah, like you say, they're so embarrassed by him. And he's not able to really provide for them. He's got a son who's got some health problems like asthma and probably something else going on. And he's not really able to take care of them, doesn't really know what's happening in their lives. Um and he's just a mess. And to see him first of all decide he's going to join the fight, and because he's a pilot too, and like sobering himself up and having Miguel bring him, just cup after cup of coffee. And then when he realizes he's the only one that has a missile left, he's the only one that can go in and stop the aliens. And it's not like he even has to debate it. It's just like, okay, this is what needs to be done, and I'm going to do it. And it is such a triumphant moment for him. And then for his son also to be standing there hearing what's going on the radio, and hearing him make that decision, and hearing him say, tell my children I love them. And getting to, like, for his son to have that moment of getting to actually be proud of his dad is also, it's all really, it's beautiful. It's moving.
It's really moving. It like always chokes me up in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, yes, you go.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like President Whitmore's speech, where, it's that whole like St. Crispin's Day kind of speech from Henry V, where, we're about to fight against really impossible odds, and chances are we're not going to win. This will probably not work, but we have to try. And we're going to fight back, and we're going to, and when we're triumphant, this is going to be for the entire world kind of thing. Like, it really is just a moving speech. And particularly, it's one of those speeches that gets clipped quite a lot. And I think it works so much better when you actually watch it within the context of the film. And because of how, like, it's nearing the end of the film, because of how much this is built up, how much we care about these characters, and how much we want, like, we kind of know, we're like, they're gonna win, right? But who's gonna make it out, right? Who's gonna survive, and how are they going to win? At what point are they going to succeed against these aliens? And it's just very satisfying to watch.
Well, and so it's like there's a couple of things happening here. So first of all, this is the president speaking just off the cuff. He grabs a mic and starts talking. And this is not a prepared speech in front of Congress, or a news, press conference or whatever. This is just him grabbing the microphone to inspire his troops, of which he's about to join them.
Yeah.
He's decided that he's going to suit up, and he's a fighter pilot. He's going to do that too. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to ask these people to do anything he's not also willing to do.
Yeah.
And so when you look at that whole thing and who he is, it just makes it that much more inspiring. And it's such a great moment. And it's part of too what we dream, like our dream perfect imagination of, if we could just create a president. That speech is the embodiment of why he would be our perfect president.
And like you said, the fact that he puts it into action, the fact that he is going to lead the fighter pilots into this, that he's going to risk himself for the greater good. It's that whole thing of like a president that you actually are going to follow into battle, that isn't just talking about it, but is actually saying, like, I am going to do this to protect my people, and that's because that's why I'm here. That is the job that they're paying me for, and that's what I do. It's really beautiful.
It is.
And of course they win. We win. We get those alien bastards. I love the fact that they start using Morse code to communicate across the world, because the aliens can't, because it's not like it's not based on satellites, so the aliens can't interrupt it, they can't decode it. And so like, just like, it's just really, again, it's that emphasis on humanity and human ingenuity, that like, which is, and community, and like, and that is, we sometimes forget, that's what we're really good at. Like, we are very good at communicating with each other and I say being sneaky, like sneaking
Yeah.
up behind someone.
Yeah. Well, and it's also the Americans figured out how to do it, and they're going to tell everybody else how to do it too, instead of like, oh, well, now we have to get around the world and
Yeah.
save everybody. It's no, we know what you all need to do. So we can, this is a worldwide solution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a great ending. It's a very good Independence Day film. It is, one of the I always have very mixed feelings around July 4th. But one of the things that I always think about is that I think there's this Langston Hughes that talks about like, may America be America again. But it's this idea of like this aspirational America that is what it has promised to be and not what it has been, right?
Yeah.
And
that's what I always choose to celebrate these days.
Yeah,
like
the ideals on which America, Independence Day, all of those things, they're good ideals. Like the ideal is wonderful, and it's something that we've maybe never been able to accomplish. But I think holding on to those ideals and not letting them be co-opted by hate and by people who claim to be patriots and who hate huge sections of the American population. I think that that's really important, to hang on to and to not let something like July 4th be stolen from us by those kinds of people.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And I mean, especially leading into this year, it's been really hard for me to get into the spirit. And it's like, it's the 250th. I should want to celebrate that. But because of what's happening in the world and what's happening in our country right now, it was really hard for me to get into that, like, to get enthusiastic. And then I started really thinking more about what we should be celebrating. And it's not where we're at currently. It's where we could be if we all would work together to get there. And I think that's what this movie does so well, is really show this ideal American experience of everybody working together and doing their part to solve a problem that affects everybody. And I love it.
Defeat the alien
and it's
bastards.
funny.
Yeah.
And it's good.
I love how they bring in Area 51 and Roswell, and like that becomes a point. Like it mixes those like conspiracy theories, the alien abduction stuff, like all of that stuff. It mixes in those things really well in a really effective way.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
like
incredible.
Brett Spiner is so weird and so good as Dr. Oaken.
Definitely a dude who's been underground for way too long.
Yeah, so long. We don't get out much. He's so funny. Okay, I have a very important question for you.
Yes.
Since we did mention Jurassic Park. Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park or Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day?
Independence Day. I think that David is like, he's like the best character.
Oh yeah.
He's hot. He's not like I said, he is 100. He is still in love with his ex-wife. Like, he is still just like,
he still wears his wedding ring.
Yeah, she is it for him. And just that, I think, is just like raises him up. Exactly. And then like at the end, when him and Steve are like strutting back, they've like survived, they're back on Earth, they killed the aliens, they're like smoking cigars, they're like so fucking cocky. It's just like, oh yeah, that's hot. That's really hot.
Yep, totally.
So what about you?
Oh, absolutely. It's David.
Yeah.
100%. Like Malcolm is definitely hot, but as a person, David.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Any final thoughts on Independence Day?
It's just so good. And if you haven't watched it in a while, we say this all the time, but it's just like, if you're feeling down about America right now, I think it's a good one to kind of help balance things out and make you feel a little bit more optimistic.
Absolutely, 100%. It's also available right now to stream in a lot of different places, including on Tubi. That's where I watched it. And yeah, if you haven't seen it in a while, it's great. It's just so much fun. So I think that's going to close us out for this week. And next week, we're going to talk about kind of the opposite side of alien invasion movies. Another film that was actually released in 1996, Mars Attacks, directed by Tim Burton and with a screenplay from Jonathan Gems. And it is
it has all the other people from the 90s that weren't in Independence Day.
It really does. And is yet another story about alien invasion and what happens when Mars attacks. And I have to say, I love this movie. I'm looking forward to talking about it again. It really is, like, in tone and in attitude, it is kind of the polar opposite of Independence Day, and in some ways is like a perfect companion piece, I think. I'm looking forward to revisiting it. I haven't watched it in years. So that will be next week. So looking forward to that. And of course, we want to thank our wonderful patrons, who include Abby, Audra, Brian, Connor, Estefania, Ferdinand, Heather, James, Judy, Carriata, Matt, Michelle, MK, Monty, Nanina, Noel, Robert, Roxy, Steve, and Sharon. Thank you for supporting us, guys. We will have a new bonus series coming out before long. And we've also got our League of Our Own bonus series, and fun fact, a professional women's baseball league is starting up, which I'm very excited about. Seeing some of like the uniforms. I think that right now the 4 teams that they have going are New York, San Francisco, LA, and Chicago. Boston. But they're playing in Chicago. So yes, awesome. This is like actual women's professional baseball. So I think that's going to be very cool. Yeah. And of course, if you want to join our Patreon, that's patreon.com/citizendame. You get access to our bonus episodes, access to episodes early, a few fun little stickers and pins, and of course, you get to support us in continuing to do this podcast, which we are enjoying greatly. We also have our Ko-Fi, that's ko-fi.com/citizendame. And of course, you can find us on the web. We are at citizendamepod.com, and you can send us emails, citizendamepod@gmail.com. Of course, we are on the various socials. We are on Instagram and Blue Sky at citizendamepod and Letterboxd at citizendame. And then you can get in touch with us individually. Karen, where are you? Hi, I'm on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Blue Sky at Karen M. Peterson. And I'm on Instagram and Letterboxd at LH Business. So that will close us out for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
I need all flight crews to report to their designated areas immediately.
Major. Roland. Sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.